going on, gamers? This is maddengurus.com with another Madden NFL 13 video. In this video, I just want to bring to you 7 points and thoughts that I have on blitzing and in defense in general in Madden 13. And then the final point is going to be my thoughts on what I think are the best types of blitzes in Madden NFL 13. So the first point is that finding good blitzes is tough in Madden 13. It's not easy. It takes a long time. You got to try, hundreds of different possible adjustments that you could make. And then again, a lot of the easiest blitzes to find send too many people. And, you got all these people that they like to quick pass. The streaks to the slots are very effective, to the running back. And then a lot of times purple zones and flat zones don't do that good of a job. It's easy to get bombed deep on man blitzes. And if you try to do bump and run and get yourself some extra time for the blitz, then if the wide receiver beats the bump, then they could hit you on a quick pass for a touchdown. And so it's pretty tough. The second point is that sometimes you just can't blitz some people. I know some folks that they will quick pass you like no other. I mean, I don't even know how they're able to see so quickly that they're just able to just dot everything that you throw at them. And so it also probably depends on team. If they have wide receivers that are really good at, catching the ball in traffic, then they'll just go ahead and just quick pass, and they'll have a lot of success with it, and it'll definitely hurt if you're sending a lot of pressure. The third point is that DT Nanos are the most effective A-gap blitzes this year. They're the most effective because, for one, they're the only ones that are actually could be considered nanos. I mean, when you have a linebacker running in through the A-gap from 5 yards off the line of scrimmage and he doesn't even have a head start or anything, that's not really a nano. So that's my third thought on blitzing this year. The fourth point is that there's two types of folks when it comes to beating blitzes. There's the folks who like to quick pass, which I mentioned earlier, and then there's the folks that try to block blitzes. The ones that try to block blitzes are the kind that they like to throw downfield a lot. They like to get time, wait for those deep routes, the deep out routes, the streaks once they get down, right under the safety. You have that kind, and I'm kind of that way. And then you have these other folks that, they're so good at quick passing, as I mentioned earlier. And so what you want to be conscious of, and this leads to my fifth point, which is that you need to try to be conscious of the type of blitz and the amount of rushers that you're sending. So you want to kind of know, okay, I'm sending 5 and 1's supposed to get in, or I'm sending 4 and 1's supposed to get in, or I'm sending 6 and 2 are supposed to get in. And then you also want to be conscious of how many people is that person blocking. Are they blocking anyone? Are they not blocking anyone? And so you really only want to send the amount that you need in order to get to the quarterback. So if you know that they're blocking one person, then you might want to send a double edge rush or something like that. And so you don't need to send a double edge rush if they're only blocking one person. Or if they're not blocking anyone, is what I meant to say. The sixth point is don't always feel bad if your blitz is getting picked up by a running back or a tight end. Do the math. And what I mean by that is if they're blocking a running back, they only have 4 people out for a pass. And so if your blitz brings 4 or less rushers, then you have 7 people that are trying to cover 4 people. So you have the odds by far. And so given that math, even rushing 5 people isn't terrible. Even though, we try to stay away from that as much as we can if we could get that same kind of heat with 3 or 4 rushers. And the fifth and final point is what I think are the best types of blitzes. The first one, and there's only 2, and that is an A-gap by the DT. And that's mainly because of the speed, as I mentioned earlier. This is possibly the only genuine type of nano there is in Madden 13. And the downside with them is they're not always 100% consistent, but a lot of them are pretty darn consistent. And the other type is dual pressures. That is a double edge rush where we're sending 5 or 6 max, and we're getting 2 people in free at the quarterback. And these, of course, you only want to use them with the people that aren't necessarily quick passers. That way you still are forcing them to throw a quick pass that might get picked off or just hold on to it for the sack. And so that could include double edge rushes or a combination of an A gap and a B gap, an A gap and a C gap and a B gap, and When I say C-gap, I just mean off the edge, which is outside the offensive tackles. So that pretty much sums up all of my 7 thoughts on this topic. With all this said, make sure you guys check out the new defensive guide I just released for Madden 13 called the Ultimate Defensive Guide. It's fundamentally created on what I think are the best defenses, with over 28 blitzes with 4 or less pass rushers. And there's also around 12 or more dual pressures in it, blitzes for you to use against the folks who like to block extra players and slide protect. And so you can find the info for all of that in the description. So as always, thanks for watching this video, and make sure you check out this channel every weekday for free tips and Madden videos on Madden Gurus TV.